The trip from Clinton into Boston took Lucas McDonald and his brother more than 3 times as long as it should have.
It took about 3 hours, I'd say, from when we left our house, because we got to Concord and we waited for the train for about 15 minutes. And then they just had to leave because it was so full.
Full of people on their way to the Women's March in Boston, one of hundreds of marches across the country and the world. The event's mission, not just about women's rights, but about broader human rights, the rights some marchers believe President Trump is threatening to take away.
I think that today is as much about banding together as people and focusing on what we want to accomplish for the positive as it is speaking out against and fighting and combating against the threats that we see coming in. I don't think that those are mutually exclusive.
Joan Grisham, a Cambridge teacher, rode the subway alongside the McDonald brothers to march for her students.
I've spent my whole life working with children, and I'm tired of them getting the short end of the stick. They deserve a good education. They deserve health care. The people in this country work too hard for the current administration to take all that away.
In other trains and cars, more than 100,000 other demonstrators made their way to Boston from around the state.
Oh yeah, I would have come all the way here from Paris. I mean, or I would have done it in Paris. I'm sure they're doing it there too.
Magdalena Gomez traveled the 100 miles from Springfield to march. She says she is marching against Trump and his administration, not the Americans who voted for him.
I don't say, oh, you're stupid because you voted for Trump. I don't feel that way. I feel they were manipulated, and they were manipulated as a result of the hurt and the economic oppression that they've been feeling and the sadness.
I know many people who did vote for Trump, and it really breaks my heart. Even if they themselves are not homophobic or sexist or anything, they are still allowing a man who is to sit in the highest position possible in this country. And I really wish that they would just educate themselves a little more and empathize more.
Boston resident Ruthie Fontanella says empathy is the cornerstone of a unified country for everyone. And for her, that starts with women's rights.
There's a saying, behind every great man is an even greater woman. And I think that really needs to be brought about more. I think women need to stand up more.
Fellow Bostonian and marcher Tristan Sapersky agrees.
I want women to realize that they have more power than they know. It's really easy to think that you're powerless when you're told by those in power that you are.
The brothers from MetroWest say, if nothing else, the global march movement succeeded in putting a positive spin on what they see as a negative situation.
As upset as I am about the inauguration yesterday, I think that it is, the silver lining to that is that it catalyzed people to stand up for positive causes.
Organizers were expecting around 70,000 marchers, but estimates now are at 100,000 people, and that makes Boston's march the second largest in the country, second only to Washington, D.C. And so far, the march has been very peaceful. At Boston Common, I'm Courtney, WMCT News.